I just want to know, when can we start getting very worried about this TV deal if it ever happens? I mean, it's not what it's September 14th. There's no, we still haven't heard one word yet. I know the wrestling media, and I say that loosely, likes to go, "Oh, it's imminent. It's going to happen." It's like, wait a minute here. You said that in July. You said that in March. You said that last year. You said that in August, and now you said after Labor Day we start worrying. So my feeling is, yeah, you should start worrying because.
Well, Meltzer, we'll talk about it in a bit. He walked back this Fox too, Chris. He's like, "Oh, I didn't state that," or something. So I don't know, but the discussion backstage, according to Fightful, within the TV world, oh, really? Could be headed to Fox Tubi after the AEW Shockwave trademark emerged. So I don't know. Meltzer, I guess, was like, "No, they haven't even had talks yet." So somebody's lying, right? I don't know. I don't know who it is. You got to think.
Fightful keeps saying we've heard a rumor. It's like, well, you know what? I heard a rumor that Jenna Jameson's going to star in the next Fast and the Furious. I've no, it came from the hairdressers, boyfriends, sons, cousin twice removed. But hey, I heard a rumor.
But they're saying it could be on Tubi, literally, dude. Tubi, like what we've been joking no money about forever.
Yeah, which means Tubi's not paying for it. It's just like a free show, basically.
Dude, Tubi, like legit the worst case scenario joke that everyone made. Or FS1, which is like
it's not going on FS1. Let's stop that right now. I mean, because they are busy every day with college basketball, college football, Major League Baseball. They'll have NHL. I mean, why are they going to all of a sudden go, yeah, let's take AEW and put that on Fox Sports 1? Because what? If WWE didn't get that great ratings for them, AEW is going to get better with their B product. It's not going to be the A product. It's going to be the B at best, maybe C product. So let's stop.
AEW Collision, though, Chris, just to sort of tack on to what you're saying, man. 157,000 people watched it last week. I think it went head-to-head with SmackDown as well. Got buried like another week, or maybe that was the same week. And then I saw Alfred Konua tweet out that the Fast Nationals for AEW were just abysmal. And he's like, "I'm not even going to post them." He's like, "Just wait till they come out because you guys are going to have fun coming up with excuses," type of thing. So, yeah, let's see. Let's see. Hey, I'll sit there and go, "Hey, man, as long as it's 500K, we're good." But if it's like 100K and it's like, "No, dude, you got that will come off the air." I don't care what it is. If you're a TV show only, especially, like they're not even a wrestling territory, like running house shows and all that sort of thing. It's ridiculous that you're just a TV show and having a good TV show and the TV ratings don't matter at all. They absolutely matter. They don't have to matter to fans. I get all that, but they matter to Tony Khan, the best guys, Tony Khan. So speaking of Fightful, though, Unpaid Critic says, "So we can't discredit Sapp. Sapp can discredit anyone he wants." Irony. Yeah, that's how it works, dude. So Sapp goes, "Planted at best, outright false at worst. I can tell you in talking to people close to both sides that neither side would be making these claims themselves." And this Andrew Chapados guy, I got it down here. What he claimed was sources close to AEW WBD deal tell me AEW was on their back foot. On top of Warner's already having about 25% from the original deal, AEW likely had to give up more equity to get the new deal done, which I believe that for sure. AEW, is that your phone? AEW apparently didn't receive any other third-party offers, which obviously hurt their negotiations. I don't believe that. I think there's someone willing to chill them a little bit of ducats. Like,
oh, I don't.
You don't? Okay, yeah.
Because I was thinking about that. Like, who?
They're talking about Fox, but apparently there's
who's talking about Fox though? I mean,
Meltzer and Fightful, and
Fightful said they heard a rumor, and they've already and both of them said, "Oh, it's not going to be on the main Fox. It might be on like Tubi or FS1."
That's
so
funny.
They're just grabbing stuff at this point. They're grabbing stuff out of their ass. I mean, I've looked at schedules and everything, and it's not Fox because they've already gotten out of the wrestling business. They have zero interest in wrestling. They are a sports network. They do not care about pro wrestling. Pro wrestling is not sports. So let's forget about that ship. It's not going to be NBC. They're already in bed with WWE. It's not Netflix. They're in bed with WWE. It's not CW. They're embedded with WWE. Disney, they have no interest. They've already are committed. Then you count out Paramount Network because they are in debt with money. That leaves you with who? Apple? They haven't shown any interest.
Warner, if they're bought in. WBD, if they're bought in, basically, give us more of the company and give us more of the pay-per-view and we're cool, Like, that's basically what they're working with, it feels like. It sounds like. But anyways, this guy says ratings cooled off. Whether or not that's from the product or recent controversial moves remains to be seen. I've reached out to the AEW for comments and will update with applicable responses. And then, so who's lying here, Chris? Sapp or this Andrew Chapados guy? And this Sapp. Andrew guy, by the way, is he writes for the Blaze. Now, some of these Blaze people be trolling. You know what I mean? I think some of them just got caught taking like Russian money and like that, So I don't know. That's another YouTube channel. If you want to get into all that, I don't know enough about
Sean Sapp is full of it at times. Look, half his staff is on, because half the staff is what, on AEW's payroll? I mean, what, Will Washington?
No, I don't think they're on a payroll, but I think they all think they can Will Washington themselves into like jobs with a billionaire.
They're on the payroll. They're getting it underneath the table, but they're on the payroll of
I don't. Do you think that they're actually given money in a paper bag type? We're doing low key deals here, like here, Schiller, or do you think they all see a guy that they can, I think they're like Will Washington their way into jobs? And not on Will Washington, that's what it's referred to, because that's sort of what he did, right? It's sort of not unprecedented, but like entirely, there's guys like
I think they get paid into the table. It's probably we'll do some advertising, we'll do this, we'll comp you tickets, we'll do this, but they're getting paid, they're getting compensated for this stuff, and you can see it on Fightful. It's pro AEW galore. You might as well call it the official AEW website. It is over the friggin' top. I mean, you might as well just have their lips removed from Tony Khan's posterior. They don't. Who would give the time of day? I'm trying to figure this out. Like, they have sources. Like, who's going to talk to Fightful from like NBC or Fox or Warner Brothers? Like, where would Fightful? We've never heard of it. Just go away.
AEW to Comedy Central confirmed.
Yes, guys, Tony Khan.
Pretty much, man. Pretty much. Oh, man. So ESPN wrote this as AEW CEO Tony Khan's bio when ranking him the 12th most influential person in boxing, MMA, and wrestling. So this is what ESPN wrote. They wrote, the son of Jacksonville Jaguars and Fulham FC owner Shad Khan, Tony established the clear number 2 wrestling promotion in the world. Okay, I'd say that's a fact. Providing fans an alternative to WWE that focuses on the technical aspect of the art. I would disagree. I'd say it's the other way. WWE focuses on the real technicality of it all, Armed with a media rights deal with Warner Bros. Discovery. Okay. AEW quickly found success after its launch in 2019. True. Still, its popularity pales in comparison to WWE's. True. AEW's TV ratings have dipped after top stars Cody Rhodes and CM Punk returned to WWE in recent years as Levesque took charge of WWE's creative. Facts. Tony Khan, who also oversees AEW's creative team, is outspoken on social media, where he has fanned the flames of controversy within wrestling, particularly in regards to Punk's departure from the promotion. So, I don't know. They kept it real about him. I think that's an accurate description. He was probably like, oh, how dare they? Yes. Was Vince McMahon on the list?
Vince McMahon is not on the list.
Wow. Fair enough.
You have...
Fair enough.
I mean, Bob Arum's number 15. No offense, Tony Khan. Bob Arum has a lot more, influence in...
Swing, power, influence, all of that. Like, Tony Khan just has a ton of money, guys. Y'all got to understand. Well, I know everyone understands.
Jake and Logan Paul are tied for 13.
Tied? Why they tie them? That's
because it's a brother duo.
He should be below Bob Arum 100%.
Look,
but maybe they just factor in the wrestling side of it. We'll give him one for now, and we'll have another one later. But AEW's new TV deal with Warner Bros. Discovery is reportedly now a done deal, with pay-per-views potentially coming to the HBO Max streaming service as a part of it. The WB deal is a done deal. Actually, there are, going, to be, actually like, changes, Tony Khan. There's going to be a pay-per-view component to this deal. What that is, I don't know. Of course, but if they're doubling the number and WBD is getting the rights to the pay-per-view, I could see that makes doubling the number more sense in a lot of ways. What did I tell you guys? AEW will double their last TV deal, so it'll be like 100 million or just shy, which even their own shills said that AEW lost 153 million or whatever last year, so they'd still be in the red. I don't care about that, but for all the people who talked, boom, right there. So, and then they have to give up more. So they're giving up more to keep this thing on like a network that's probably bought in. Is the only reason I could even see them giving Tony this much rope and this long of a time. And it's why it's so unique that nothing's been announced, because it's just like, well, we own we own a chunk of it, so we're not going to let it die, and they'll give us more and we get some of the pay-per-view and all that. But what did I tell you guys? They're going to go, oh, double. I could see that makes sense in a lot of ways. But it's like, no, dog, you guys were trying to say 2 billion, 1 billion, 500 million. All these numbers were getting thrown around. All the sheets were, I don't know, just wiping their asses coming up with numbers. And so it's just funny that he's going, it's a done deal. And then they're talking about, oh no, Fox is whatever. And then Meltzer and Sapp are contradicting each other. It's just, there's so much hogwash out there. We're trying to make sense of it all, folks, here at PWT. But I mean, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, I don't even care. I don't even care where AEW ends up anymore at this point. Who gives a, it's probably just going to stay on TBS, but like, whatever. It's not this thing they tried to.
I doubt it. I am telling you right now, I do not see it happening. And I'll even give you a quote. I'm pulling this up here from our guy, the Fight Oracle, because he brought this up. David Zaslav, transcript from a Goldman Sachs conference. He goes, so we've added college football playoffs, 4 of 11 games, maybe 5. We've added NASCAR. We've added hockey. We've added tennis. Roland Garros. We've added Big East basketball together with March Madness. The baseball playoffs this year, the NBA, we hope for the next 11 months. The NBA, depending on how it turns out. You know who we didn't mention? Let me guess. Starts with an A. Ends with a W. It's AEW. I think they're trying to get rid of that stock because right now it's hovering on that 600,000 plus, and everybody keep asking people, so what's the fallout? When does it hit like 500,000? When does it hit 400,000? Give me the example of why they have not renewed this.
Because they own a chunk of it. So to them, it's like, okay, no matter what, we can stick them on any of our. But even if we just throw AEW on streaming, like it's just something we own.
But they don't want that.
I know you keep saying that, but they've clearly, this is a unique situation.
It doesn't fit what they're doing. They've hired a new person to TV who is big. We talked about it. She wants original drama. She wants original programming. She wants to have shows that get awards, not be stuck with something which. Let's see. They drop each other on
own it. So what do they do? What do they do?
Let it go.
I know, but what do they do? That's what I'm trying to say. Like they either use it and then take some of his pay-per-view money because this billionaire is going to keep running pay-per-views and doing these events.
How much?
And they do decent buys. Like they get like 100,000 buys.
That's not decent though. That's not really like decent. Like
I don't know, man. For them, I think it is. I think that's one of their only ways they actually see any money.
Here's how it was broken down because I've talked with many people in the pay-per-view business, and it's a lot of people from boxing, MMA. You want to hit at least, if you're spending the money that AEW is, you need to hit at least 250K, 300,000 pay-per-view buys, and they're not doing that. They're not even close to doing
that. But they don't do them. But here's the difference though, is that Tony does these pay-per-views like all the time. So like he'll do an all in, and then 2 weeks later he does an all out, and then 3 weeks later he has another one.
It's not like he's running 2 pay-per-views every month,
and they all do like 100K, 150K, 125K.
He's still not making money. That's still not bringing them a lot of money.
But it's more frequently than like an event that like the UFC, let's say, they do a pay-per-view, and obviously what's considered a bomb to them wouldn't be considered a bomb in wrestling. But just the pay-per-view model is sort of just an old thing anyways. But I just think that's why they want that, because that just brings in like
who
money.
Keeps saying they want it? Like, we keep hearing, they want that.
All the dirt sheets, bro. Like,
who cares about dirt sheets? But dirt sheets.
I do. The people do. That's why people are watching the show, bro. We care about what they're saying, and we're gonna call.
They don't know. The dirt sheets.
I don't get what you don't get about it, bro. That's why I do. That's why I do what I do. That's why I make fun of it.
But you're actually giving credence, like, hey, they know what they're talking about. No, they don't. I'm telling you right now.
I didn't say they know what they talk about. I'm saying this is what they're all saying.
I know.
So let's go. So I'm not. No, just stop for a second. Okay, you need to listen. Here's the thing. I am not on the phone with Fox execs claiming that I am. So these are the people claiming they are, and I have a source, and these are the people claiming that. So that's what the narrative they want to put out there. So then we're going to dissect that, and then we're going to point out, here's where they lied, here's where the guy was right, here's where this guy was right, and it's hilarious. So we're going to clown them and play flutes, dude. That's the whole goddamn point. Have Chris listen to Brian Last on why he thinks that deal is done. WBD owns a piece. They do. They own a piece.
So once again, does Brian Last? I mean, everybody keeps saying, they own a piece. Like, what's a piece? 25%.
Everyone's saying it. I don't know. I don't know.
I know that. I know you don't know that. That's what everybody keeps saying. They own a piece. So like what? 5-10%?
25%.
Warner Brothers can just 20%, sell that off.
25%, 30%. Maybe. Who knows?
So
he had a bunch of initial investors.
So you know what? They invest in a lot of stuff and buy a lot of stuff. They can just burn it. I mean, remember, they spent
Sorry,
they spent $90 million on Batgirl. What did they do with Batgirl? Oh yeah, they shelved that bitch.
Right, but they got to write that off.
So they can. Why can't? And they can write this off.
They got to keep however much, 90 million or whatever they put into that movie. They got to keep it. So they won't write it off because they lose their money, bro. You can't. So here's the thing, right? This is what the whole theory is. It's crazy because, like, dude, we talk about this all the time.
Theories.
That's what I've been chronicling on this show. Okay, the theory is that this is what everybody thinks. Like, everyone, like everybody is floating this out there. I've had Dose come on here for an hour straight and break this all down way better than I can. Okay, but so take it from them, not me. But basically, the reason they let Tony Khan shop the AEW around, and they have a new show, Shockwave, coming out, so they're not doing that just blindly unless it's some YouTube show or something. But yeah, they like the reason WBD is like playing this game and like, okay, yeah, sure, like we gave you an offer, we're not really negotiating, we want some of the pay-per-view, you can go try and get a deal elsewhere, is because they want to recoup their money. So if like AEW goes and gets like a huge deal with Fox, let's say, then WBD will go, sweet, pay us back a big chunk of this money we have invested and we'll let go of the rights or whatever. I don't know. Like, that's where it's all speculative because nobody really knows. But the theory makes sense. It wouldn't be the first time something like this has happened. I don't know. Again, I'm
dropping some knowledge on you.
So I don't know, man. I don't know, but it is what's floating around out there, right? So
Greg, you know what's floating around? The Earth. There are people who say the Earth is flat. That's their saying.
Okay,
that doesn't make it true. That just makes a lot of stupid
very
people.
Fair. Brian Last doesn't believe the Earth is flat now. Chris Connors.
No, Brian Last is just trolling people. He's just, you know what he's doing? He's trolling all the little AEW fans, like poking the little bears with sticks. That's what Cornette likes to do. He likes to poke bears with sticks also. This is just like poking the little AEW bears. Let's see if we get a rise. Oh, there we go. They're up in ornery. They're ready to fight here. And Cornette just sits there and laughs as they start, just flame warring him.
I want WWE to buy AEW before this company kilts some wrestlers. Yeah. I hope that doesn't happen ever. Right?
It's getting close.
It's like, where do we go? They're doing hypodermic needles. Like, where do we go from there? Like we've had exploding super kick in the face, real cinder block slams. Like what happens when someone botches and like hits the back of their head on cinder block or something. It's terrifying. AEW hit a record low in attendance last night. Almost 90% of the arena empty for Dynamite. It's really sad to see what AEW has become. And yeah, here's a picture. They were in a 23,000 seater. They had like 2,300 people there. And yeah, this is all Tony Khan's ego, dude. Like, that's why this is like this. It's because he wants to compete with WWE, man. It's just sad, you know?
Wait a minute. According to the AEW people now, the AEW fan base, there was never war. There was AEW never declared war on WWE. It's all a figment of our imagination.
So NoDQ.com, yeah, they say, so WWE versus AEW war is over. What you'll see is AEW occasionally overpay for a WWE free agent, and it won't matter because WWE will replace said wrestler with someone younger and cheaper. Effectively, AEW has become TNA. So that's from NoDQ, and that's absolutely right. That hit the nail right on the head with that one. And there hasn't been a war, man, this whole time. I mean, at the beginning there kind of was. But they did all up, man. AEW definitely fumbled and dropped the ball on that. And yeah, there's a lot of sickos, IWC sickos, which we'll get into that segment next. Of these people, they're crying. They're saying like there's a serial killer on the loose, and that's why people weren't at the Dynamite. And I'm not kidding. So